Hello there and welcome to the weekly outlook. Only got a couple of currencies really that are in focus next week, two that I'm really looking to trade. And that's going to be the Aussie dollar US dollar, the pound US dollar. We'll be having a quick look at the Canadian dollar as well, the US dollar Canadian dollar, and also the euro. But the main one in focus, especially at the start of the week, is the Aussie dollar. Okay, so on the calendar, we've got RBA Governor speaks straight away at 12:15 on Monday morning. So pretty much just after the markets are open, Governor Stevens is going to be talking. Now, we had a slightly less dovish tone than what the market was expecting after that rate cut, and they did fail to give us a projection on rates for the future. So what we're going to be looking for is any sort of comments there that are going to give us an idea of any future rate cuts. Now, the market is suggesting that there is chances of rate cuts in March and May, but we want to hear that straight from the horse's mouth. Now, because we've already had a rate cut on the Australian dollar, still expect this to fall from against the US dollar. However, we have got this bit of trading range going on here. This is where I expect the price to be after we had that rate cut. You can see it pulled down to just short and then started to rally back up. But it has been stuck to this sort of range. I'll be looking to sort of sell off the top here around about this 7,880 level. Now, the reason I say 7,880 and why do I think it will come back up there is perhaps Governor Stevens is going to start off with a little bit of hawkish tones in that conversation due to the fact that they weren't so as dovish as the market expected when they spoke the other day. Also, we've got NAB business confidence out at 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday. That was actually a slightly better reading last time. And then at the end of the week, coming into Friday, we've got Thursday evening, we've got Governor Stevens speaks again. Okay, now again, I expect him. They still want to try and talk this currency down. So I think after having a little bit of hawkish tones in the Monday morning meeting regarding rate cuts, I think he may try and. He may realise that the currency is not falling quite as fast as he wants to by Thursday, and maybe start to try and talk that currency down. So I'm hoping for a bit of a lift on the currency at the start of the week, up to about 7,880, maybe 7,9, and that's where I'm going to be looking to take sell position from. And I'm still looking for it to come down to that 7.5 area. Okay, so that's the Aussie dollar. Now looking at the pound, we've got BOE Governor Carney speaks on Thursday. I mean, prior to that, we've got the when a manufacturing production month on month. I'm not really going to be paying too much attention to that, although it would be handy if the figures come out better overall. But what I'm actually looking for is to try and get in on the 50% pullback on this currency pair at the moment. So we've got a little bit to fall on that. You can see here I've got the Fibonacci drawn on there. I'm looking for this to fall back to the 50% level on this current uptrend. I had this this production drawn in at the start of the end of February there with a spike up and then a consolidation and then a breakout on the 5th. It actually broke out a little bit before and the consolidation was a little bit higher than expected. However, we did have that breakout above that 15300 level, and I am looking for that retracement now to the 15171. Okay, so 50% retracement. Hopefully that manufacturing production, if that figure comes in slightly weaker, then that could give us that push down that we're looking for there, and then we can buy that back for the next rally. I am looking for this to rally up to the 1.6 area eventually, but we'll settle for 155 as our first target there, just around where this area of support is. Okay, so I'm hoping that's going to come on Thursday when we have the Governor Carney speaks, the inflation report, and the inflation letter. Okay, although inflation is very low at the moment, I don't think it's going to take much before they start raising interest rates. They're going to do it slow and steady, much slower than what they were going to do last year, but that stands to reason as the interest rate is much lower. But they are expecting that inflation to grow very, very quickly, and this inflation report will give us the projection of the BOE over the coming 2 years. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking for. We've also got, just on the same day, a little bit later on, which hopefully will add fuel to this fire, is we've got the core retail sales and the retail sales and unemployment claims from the US. Now, we did have quite a poor retail sales and core retail sales last time, so I'm expecting this to bounce back a little bit and put us a little bit more strength back into the US dollar. Okay, so moving on to the euro as well, because this kind of is indicative for the euro. We've got not a lot of data out, but we have got the EU Economic Summit on February the 12th. And we've got the Euro group meetings on February the 11th. So they're both sort of all-day events. So there's going to be sort of a little bit of volatility in the market as they touch on different subjects. If I just bring the chart up there, I'll show you what I'm looking at for next week. A little bit of uncertainty due to the fact that the COP report the week before was 80% of people in short positions, which means there's not many people left for the sellers to buy positions from. But as you can see, if I just delete some of these drawn objects there, okay, you can see here that we've got we had this rally up due to the Swiss National Bank intervening in the Euro Swiss pair. It's obviously strengthened the euro slightly, and obviously because of what was going on with Greece, that are saying that they are going to honour their debt, has caused a rally after the big drop there from the QE announcement. I'm still expecting this to fall down to parity. The first target I've got here is 11000, and you can see here we've got a pretty solid double top pattern with a breakout price there of about 113. So looking really for this to dip below that 113 level. There's two choices here. We can be looking for an immediate breakout of 113, which I'm sure we'll probably get anyway, but possibly a pullback afterwards. So you could play it safe, let it break out. When it pulls back to 113 and shows resistance, then you could take the sells, or you could jump in straight away as soon as it breaks through there and try and make that initial profit bit as well. But I am expecting a drop there, probably 100 pips, a pullback, and then a drop maybe 200 pips. Okay, so that's the three key pairs that I'm looking to trade next week. They're the ones I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to quickly run through the US dollar Canadian as well. We've recently had a rate cut on the US dollar Canadian, and obviously that weakening oil price there has caused it to push up. The non-farm payrolls came out on Friday. We also had the jobs data from Canada as well. They were both good reports, which caused it to sort of stagnate a little bit around this 12445 area. But I did recommend buys off 12400 last week, and as you can see, they came into play quite nicely. But again, we've got a little bit of a double bottom pattern happening here. It's just below that at the moment. We've also got a triangle pattern that's formed as well. So I'll be looking for breakouts above the 12550 for additional buys, or we can wait for it to pull back down to that 124 again and see if we get a little bit of consolidation here and we could take buys off of that price as well. But I am still expecting the Canadian to weaken much against the US dollar. I'm expecting for a rally up to 13,000 over the coming weeks. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the weekly outlook. Only a short one this week, not much on the calendar, but those data points there that are quite key. We're looking at the Aussie dollar, the pound, the euro, and the US dollar Canadian. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you next week.